Welcome back, Valley Podcast. Guys, that was a much needed win. I feel really good. I'm not overconfident, but I'm feeling a lot better. We got Coach Evan B here in the house, the much maligned on Twitter, if I'm being completely honest. People are not giving this man the respect he reserves. And we got Salty, a Stay Z fan. How's it going, Salt?
You made me think of like Rodney Dangerfield, the Rodney Dangerfield of Suns Twitter.
That might be his new handle.
There we
I
go.
get no respect. How am I doing? My blood pressure's a little bit better. I almost lost it at the end, but yeah, good W, man.
Yeah, man, that was not fun. I did not want to see the Suns potentially turn that game away, and I really thought that they were trying to. But, man, at this point, I'll take it. Plus, I mean, not only were we on a little 2-game skid, but they had also beaten us 7 times in a row. So it was really good to get that monkey off their back. Man, what's going on, Coach? Tell me what's going on Twitter. I purposely didn't ask you because I wanted it to be fresh for the show.
Stan accounts. Those Stan fan accounts, man. They just got some sort of beef when you bring up something that they don't like, and then their little 18-year-old kid chat group wants to, for some reason, attack you, and it's just annoying because you just can't. You want to talk ball with people, and you just can't have, as they said, you can't talk ball with everybody. So if you don't even remember Wesley Person being on the Phoenix Suns as a rookie, don't talk to me.
Harsh. You know, I had to leave there's a Suns account on Facebook. It's like a group. I had to leave it like a year ago. And it was just like, I love the Suns more than anyone in the world, but it was just like harassment. Having to log into my Facebook every day and see the stupid trade ideas and the stupid things people are saying, like, man, we need to get Shannon Brown back. It's like I was losing my nerve, dude. And I had to get rid of that. So it's just tough. It's tough, man. You love the Suns, but the fan culture can be sometimes abrasive. You know, I wish we all liked each other more.
Mike Vigil. I'm sorry if I don't know how to pronounce it. He sent out a tweet earlier today that was talking about how he was suggesting bringing up trading Deandre Ayton, similar to what we were doing. And he said he got just a whole bunch of hate mail going through, like some ridiculous stuff. He had to turn off notifications and everything. Like, man, you can have really bad takes if you want. There's no problem with having a terrible take. Like, I would trade Allen Iverson for Tony Battie. Sure. If that's the ridiculous take you want, go for it. But when you're like attacking people for it, like they weren't attacking me. It was just super annoying. It's just totally uncalled for this. Like, it's not worth it, especially in the climate of our country. I think on either side, again, we're not going into politics on here. On either side of the fence that you're at, you know what's going on in our country, that we're just at a crossroads with a lot of things. So, like, let's not lose our shit over this.
I agree.
It's going to be my piece.
Hey. Speaking of cyberbullying, let's talk about how we cyberbullied Ayton into reaching his potential. You know what I'm saying?
I'm certain it was
that. I'm on board. I'm on board with that. That's totally fine.
All right. So I got to talk about this. All right.
Let's go.
Because there's certain people on Twitter that want to stick their noses up like they're all high and fucking mighty because they never called out Deandre. And excuse me if I'm asking a dude to reach his fucking potential. This dude is like 7'1", can do anything on the court. That's why we drafted him number 1. And excuse me for asking better. God damn it. No, but so I'm supposed to be blasting. People are asking for receipts. They're like, should I pull up receipts on all these haters? It's like, come on, dude. He deserved the hate. And that's why he's where he's at, man. What do you think? Because like on the local radio, they were talking about some rumors. I guess Dave Pash talked about how he heard that Deandre was on the trading block this off season. And then, of course, you know, our GM was on the radio and he talked about it with Gambo and Burns, and he didn't really like deny it. He kind of like did the politician answer, like it was a no-win situation for him. Sure. And obviously it's a business in the NBA, but I feel like if DeAndre Ayton's going to play like this after trade rumors, Fox do it every game. Say he's on the trading block and have him go for whatever he went off 26 and whatever tonight.
Well,
you
hey,
know?
this is his second good game in a row. You know, 2 nights ago I gave him an A plus. I'm damn sure giving him an A plus tonight. You earned it, DA. You looked amazing. You hit 2 would-be threes. I know one of them got counted as a 2. I'm not sure if they were both of them 2s, but man,
I thought one was a 3. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful.
He was on the line for both of them, but like they were close. They were close.
They leave him alone at the 3-point line the way people leave Ben Simmons alone. And it's just like, I don't care if you miss, DA. You can miss those threes. Just start taking them because, Coach, correct me if I'm wrong, when you're the type of player who's hitting threes, it opens up everything. It's like all of a sudden they have to play up on his hip. Can you imagine them having to play DA up on his hip and then all of a sudden he's able to slip a back screen? It's like a third, fourth, and fifth dimension of his game. What's going on, kids? Will open up. And it's like, I think that's where he could go from, hey, this guy could be an all-star, to if he keeps hitting that shot like that or just taking that shot and making 35 to 39% of those shots, he could be a superstar and be like, this is why I got taken. This is why I got taken over Luka.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I completely agree. I really have been waiting for Deandre Ayton to consistently start taking his mid-range, kind of like Amari Stoudemire used to, very consistent with that. And I thought he was going to get that, sometime towards last year. I didn't expect him to all of a sudden stop taking those shots. And then I expected him to maybe stretch out there. But no, he's going right to 3 now. And I haven't really seen him take a lot of mid-range. He takes a lot of 8 or 10 footers, like little fadeaways, little things like that. But I'm talking legitimate mid-range jumpers, right? I'd love to see him take more of those. I think that would open it up more than the 3. But if he's open and he can,
you're an old man. You're an old man. This game is about 3-pointers. There is no reason to take an 18-foot shot when a 22-foot shot gives you another point.
All right.
There's no reason. And Ayton can hit them.
So the player that I want to bring out here is the Joker, right? From the Nuggets. He can stroke threes. And he could do pretty much everything. So if Ayton was able to put the 3 into his game, it would just open things up crazy. Because I don't know, man. He was playing like Dikembe Mutombo tonight, like rejecting everybody. That dude wasn't defense
afraid of contact.
Is incredible. And then that one foul he got was just bullshit. You know what I'm saying? They called that foul on him where he went straight up and they called the foul. I think he only had like one foul. Or he's done incredible with his defense, man. And like that's the thing. Like when you're just only focusing on one thing and you're being tentative on offense, it's hard to like give him props for that. But like,
I'm not playing it yet. Go ahead.
Gabe, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show this foul real quick.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead, Salty.
It was bullshit, but like, do you guys remember in the beginning of the year, he was fouling out and like making stupid fouls and stuff? Like he legit doesn't foul anymore. Like he goes straight up,
Where's the foul? Where's the foul?
That's good defense.
One more time. Yeah.
How many fouls do you have tonight? I think that was his only one. I don't know. It's crazy.
Ridiculous.
Hey, how about those 2 blocks? Those 2 blocks on Oladipo in the same possession at the end of the second half. So he swats Oladipo, I think comes down the court and scores on a layup.
Yeah.
And then goes back down the court. Oladipo tries him again, tries to bump him and go up left-handed. He's just DA, thank you, man. Look, I know I've been saying some things, DA, and I know you're watching, DA. You and Kiz are always here. And Chris Paul, I know you're watching too. Score more than 13 points, Chris Paul. Man, I'm sorry we've been talking so much crap, DA. If you can give us this, or even a night like 2 nights ago where it was 18 and 16, bro, I'd rather have you getting the 18 and 16 consistently than be Luka, because we already have Booker, we already have Chris Paul. We don't need Luka. If you can do that cleanses my soul of all the picks that we've lost. The Benders, the Chris's, the not taking De'Aaron Fox. Instead, we're taking Jackson, the missing out on Jason Tatum, all those things.
So, real quick, the thing is we're big Suns fans, right? And we have been through some rough times, and you could know when people are real Suns fans when they've been through the shit, right? They don't go away. We still watched them during like bad times. We could list off, like, you guys remember what's his name, Daryl Strawberry, or what's his name, the
DJ Strawberry,
Daryl,
Tucker,
Daryl Strawberry's son or whatever. Yeah. So we can name some weird Suns players that you probably never heard of if you're just like a random play, off and on again Suns fans. So we're like really passionate about it, and when you're really passionate about it, it's not that we were like hating on Deandre Ayton. We just know what he's capable of. We played highlights of this dude at U of A. We all were on the train of Ayton. When it was between Doncic and Ayton, none of us said Doncic. We all said Ayton because we saw his highlights at U of A just dominating people. And that's why we're like, in the beginning of the season, when we saw his tentativeness, his lack of energy and it was weird. It was just like, what are you doing? So then when we see these two games, of course, we're happy for him because he's reaching his potential. He could literally do this every game, bro. Yes. I'm telling you, like, it's just like Doncic is like a walking triple-double. DA is like a walking double-double, like 20 and 15. You know what I'm saying?
Easy.
I agree. And that's why I've been so upset this year thus far with the soft little lay-ins and the lackadaisicalness around the rim. And like, okay, so you remember they inbound him the ball, and I might have been Christian Wood, I'm not sure, tries to jump the pass. He spins, drives. Yeah. I've never seen DA go at the rim faster in a half-court situation.
He didn't think either. He just went.
No, he just went at the rim, gave a little Euro step, and I probably would have lost my shit if he had dunked that, because it looked like it was going to be a Giannis Euro dunk, but he softly laid it in with the right side. It was beautiful. It was aggressive. It was like, okay, you remember when we played the Nuggets in the preseason? Sorry, the Jazz. Did you see the meme of him? And it said, after you give your girl your three best pumps, and it's DA at the free throw line, and he's like, he looks like a gopher, and you could just see he's huffing and puffing. Did you see that meme? I'll have to send it to you. He did not have his wind. I'm thinking that there's no coincidence that he is starting to get his wind, and he's starting to play a little bit more aggressively. Because coming from a experience of a guy who plays a lot, when I don't have my cardio strength, I have to be a lot less aggressive, because it's just like I'm half the person I normally am, because I just don't have the wind to get it done. And he looked like I'm thinking maybe he just didn't have the wind to get it done on both ends.
He's 22.
Honestly, like, in retrospect, I think DeAndre Ayton, he's a soft-spoken dude, right? He's kind of easy going, and like at the beginning of the year, he talked a lot about Chris Paul as one of his like favorite players. He's so excited to play with him. Imagine if you're like a young person, because like when you're in things, you can't really see where you are. Like, people see him as an NBA player and like he's 7'1" or whatever, but like he's a kid right now. Imagine getting to play with one of the best players that you saw on TV growing up, right? CP3, one of the best all around point guards out there, superstar, and all of a sudden he's on your team. You know he's just trying to figure out things with this guy. He doesn't want to step on people's toes. And plus, he's working on his defensive game and rebounding. So then he just is like very tentative. Like, hey, I'm going to focus on defense and rebounding. but he didn't realize that was really hurting the team because he's like because we talked about this. You get the ball, you pass it off, and the defense can make adjustments on there, right? Because
Right.
they could just go off of you. So I think he was just focusing on the defense, which was amazing because you could see just leaps and bounds from where he was at his rookie year. Just crazy, night and day different player. And he was just like, okay, I'm going to focus on this, and that's what I'm going to focus on. And then he was just very tentative. But then he figured out, hey, I'm hurting my team actually because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to. And then he got a wake-up call. Does that make sense to you guys? Like,
definitely.
You know, we spoke on that to a point where we think this is what's going on, but at the time when you're watching Deandre Ayton not even being able to box up De'Aaron Fox and all these small guards that we played against, you're just like, yeah, but come on. I think the biggest difference in this was just he played hard the whole game. And he stuck to the things that he does consistently. We've been talking about his positioning on rebounding. His positioning and rebounds are amazing. Like, he just gets to the right spot consistently, and he got us a few extra buckets tonight because of that.
Big buckets.
So he's doing that, but he just played hard tonight, and he just went at it. I mean, what is it? Was it the first, second, or third game where he got the ball at the free throw line and he like pump faked air and there was nobody in front of him, right? You guys remember that? Like, he was doing things like that, and now he's just going for it. And there's a big difference in doing that, especially in basketball. When you have to make a split-second decision, when you hesitate, it's over. Now they're just going. And that's what I got out of it. I mean, he can just do these things just because of how physically gifted he is. It was his motor. And so I don't think it's conditioning. I think it was his motor of just freaking doing it, because the kid is 22.
Maybe we're talking about the same thing then.
So would you agree that the spacing and interior passing was better today?
It looked better. It looked like he wanted the ball more. But I got a fun stat for you real quick. I was going to bring this up, and Kiz mentioned it in the DMs. He hopped on in there. Who do you think played the absolute best game? Just looking at the game, watching it. Who played the best game for the Suns?
DA.
DA. Right? Who played the worst for the Suns?
Booker.
Frank Kaminsky.
Oh, well, you're going to – I mean, that's like saying what color is orange.
Exactly. That's my point. All right, guess who had the worst plus minus? The worst
probably
minus
DA
was Deandre Ayton at -5. Guess who had the biggest plus minus?
Don't say
Kaminsky at +11.
So that just tells you plus minus is bullshit then.
Bullshit. I think it definitely serves its purpose in a few things, especially when it comes to like lineups. Maybe like, how does this particular lineup do versus
I don't
that
know,
lineup?
man.
I think that stuff works, but that really just fucking says something.
You got a comment you want to highlight in the chat there?
No, just saying, just no forces passed to DA. That's true. It did look better, but also I feel like he wasn't relying on getting the ball and doing his little like post up stuff. I feel like he was getting his points in other ways. He was willing to shoot from the mid range and willing to shoot from the 3-point line, and he was just hustling and getting them putbacks and getting them gritty boards.
Yeah, I think that the screen and rolls were a lot cleaner. Like, Chris Paul had some issues with turnovers in the beginning, but I think that in general the screen and rolls were a lot more forceful. Because, like I said before, when I was watching them early in the year, DA never had any intention to score off of the screen and roll. Like, he's immediately passing it. It was like bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would roll. It wasn't like a strong roll to the basket. And when he got the ball. It was in weird positions, and he would swing it immediately. Now he goes, pick and roll, forceful roll to the basket, and better shit's happening. Either, Chris Paul will pull up for a J. He might miss, and DA will be in position to tip it back in. There was some lobs. I think he got a lob. I forgot who threw it. Maybe Cam Johnson or someone else threw him a lob. He got a lob. He's just very active, which is awesome. And straight up Dikembe Mutombo style, dude. 5 blocks in one game. Oladipo had a stat line that would make Donovan Mitchell blush. Because how many shots did this dude throw up, dude? I swear to God, he had like 40.
7 of 22. 7 of
Just
22. So basically
garbage.
like Books the other night.
Yeah.
Except Victor, it was 7 of 7 from the free throw line.
Yo, Evan, I have to ask you, man. This was your team, dude. The Rockets. You said this was the sleeper team for the championship. What happened to the Houston Rockets, man?
Sleeper team for the championship. I don't know if I said that specifically, but I do know, and I think we all know that if John Wall was out there tonight, and if he had his speed back the way I haven't seen a full game, but if he had his speed back the way that we've seen him in the past and what we've seen in just highlight clips and stuff, I think he definitely would have been a problem. I think we're lucky and we dodged that John Wall bullet, but he could have taken away from other players. So that's why you play the game. You don't know.
If John Wall would have played, they would have lost by 30, right? No, I'm just kidding.
They looked so discombobulated in so many parts of this game, and then they came back and looked like they couldn't miss, huh?
But yeah, Wood was in lockdown. Like Ayton was locking down Wood, and Bridges was locking down Oladipo. And then Christian Wood rolled his ankle, and then all of a sudden snapped out of his funk and started scoring. Oladipo was just kind of off all night, and I think that has to do with Bridges being on him. But
I want to bring up what Kiz said. Maybe you can highlight it. Ayton needs top dump offs. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he dunked the ball more in this one game than the entire season. I think I saw a tweet where it said he's dunked the ball 11 times or something like that in the past 2 games, and he did 7 the previous 11 games or something like that.
Here's his layup. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. No, that just shows his aggressiveness, and that's all we asked for. We're not asking for him to put up 30 and 20. We just wanted him to play aggressive because everything else comes to him. It's like what we're saying with Book, too, is just play within yourself and do something other than offense. And he did that tonight. Book played his best. When he didn't have the ball, I thought he played his best game. He got a couple possessions going our way. This was one of them right there. He's just in the middle with stuff. He played smart off the ball defense. I didn't see his man beat him off the ball one time tonight. And that's been a killer. All of a sudden, Boko's going to let his guy go for 3 straight buckets. Then he's going to get a T. And all of a sudden, things just end up going south from there. He didn't do that tonight. He played like a professional basketball player throughout the entire game. Now, with that being said, when we were up 20 and then went down 5, like in a flash, that's where Devin Booker needs to, maybe Ayton World was right. That's where Devin Booker needs to become more prevalent because he's still disappearing in games and in times when we need him. He needs to at least get 2 or 3 things going. Now, he did at the end. He got a couple free throws. He got that layup. He facilitated a 3 that really clinched the game for us, so you can't be mad about that. But if he wouldn't have disappeared in that little stretch of the third right there and just hit a couple more buckets, I think we would have had a different type of ending to this game.
Yeah, Devin Booker had 6 turnovers at the beginning of the game.
In the first half, and he only ended with 6.
Only, yeah. I mean, he needs to cut those turnovers down, man. Him and CP3. CP3 had a good amount too. Last game and this game.
How does Christian Wood come back and have hops like that after twisting his ankle inside out and upside down? I just don't get it.
Adrenaline. A lot of it had to have been adrenaline.
I mean,
that's crazy.
Okay, so how would you feel about having Christian Wood? I'm not.
No, we ain't going there.
No. I don't want to complain. I'm not in a. I'm in a great mood tonight. Okay, I'm on cloud 9 with this Suns team. But how scary would it be to have someone like Christian Wood right next to Ayton? I mean, props to Christian Wood, first of all, for playing this early after turning his ankle the way he did. But look at him. I mean, he's like a Siakam, which is the type of archetype that kills the Suns. And go ahead.
So he's a big man, right? Wood.
Yeah, but he's he's like a Rashawn Holmes height. He's not bigger than Ayton. He's a power forward.
No, but how tall? I'm just saying he has height. He's a big man. It takes time for these people to develop. You said he was on the Suns G League team, right?
Yes, we had his
Summer Suns too, or something.
So
6'10", 223.
we're not the only team that passed up on this dude. He was on the Pistons before he was with Houston. The Pistons is really where he kind of started to shine. So some players take longer than others. So this leads back to the same conversation where we want these players to develop on our time, not their time, especially with big men, because we're seeing Doncic just do his thing and he's a guard.
Look at
And
the
we're
shot.
seeing, you know,
Oh, just
so
behind the line, drills.
so
Go
what
ahead.
I'm trying to say is if Christian Wood could, be on his however many teams and start doing what he's doing, imagine Ayton, like he's still developing all these things. So
I'm not complaining on Ayton. I'm just saying props to Christian Wood for being.
Nader jam, Abdul Nader sighting. Go ahead.
no, I think I think that Sticks is gonna be good, man. I sent you that message today because I was listening to the radio. James Jones talked about Sticks, and he said that he was in health protocols and he had some ankle stuff. But I think when he comes back, which is pretty soon, I feel like he's going to be a rotation player as well. I think I think he would complement Ayton as well if he was playing with him. I think you could probably play him at the 4. He could still do pretty good there.
Yeah. Man,
And then
this game.
we didn't even have Dario Saric tonight, too, man.
Right. This was a big bucket by Booker.
That was
This
huge.
is what we're
huge.
talking about with
Huge.
him just being that type of player.
That dude.
That even if he's not having a great game, you can still count on him in the clutch time. And it's so nice to have that, man.
So nice to have that. I think we've covered Deandre Ayton and Booker almost to a T tonight. Granted, this is after a win, so we're gonna be on our highs, and then we're not gonna be on the low right now.
But it feels good, man. It feels good.
It feels good to come out 8-5 now. It's a needed win, but I kind of want to talk about the flow of the game and kind of a few things that happened in between it. Me and Salty were definitely going through it in the fourth quarter, like what's going on. But to set up the game, John Wall out tonight. The Suns are playing while the Memphis Grizzlies are not playing, who we just lost to them, but now they're in COVID protocols. So who knows if we're going to be playing the next game. We probably are because it's on ESPN. Then we won't play for 2 weeks. So John Wall being out, Dario Saric out, Sticks still going to be out, Campaign questionable, and then obviously he plays. That sets it up. I thought the first quarter was phenomenal. I think it's their best first quarter. Everybody that came in, even Frank Kaminsky at the time in the first quarter, everybody hustled. Everybody made some sort of winning play or contributed to it. It was a great first quarter. Nobody had their heads down. I thought it was their best all around. I thought we were going to take this away. Then we go into the second quarter, we catch a little lull, and then we all of a sudden go on a break. And then I forget, what was it? We were up by like 13 or something at halftime, or maybe 12 if I remember. Third quarter, we come out, and at this point of the game, Chris Paul has been pushing. I thought Chris Paul's tempo tonight was exactly what we needed. Exactly what Gary said when he was on the pod was that he's playing slow and methodical, and we need somebody to push it up. He did that tonight. We were getting open jams after made baskets. I remember 2 or 3 times Chris Paul just pushes it to Mikhail. One time he dunks it. One time he passes it out for a missed 3. But we weren't doing that before. The tempo was amazing. And DeAndre Ayton's rebounding, I really think, saved and won the game for us because there were so many late possessions where he just goes up and grabs it with his 17 boards. And then we go on the slow. We go from 20 down to 5, and then all of a sudden we push it back up again, and the 12, 13, 14, and then all of a sudden it's like 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We're up 7. We have Frank Kaminsky in the damn lineup. We have Abdul Nader, Campaign, and I think we had Booker and Crowder, if I'm not mistaken. So we had one guy, one starter with 6 minutes to go in a 7-point game on the road. What are we doing, Monty Williams? What can you coach us through this a little bit, Salty? What's going on?
It's not like I don't know. There's lots of people that I don't know if there's lots of people that one guy talked about rotations. I know if you know anything about basketball, it's just it was bad rotations. It's bad subbing. He's done this multiple times, and I've talked about it, that I wasn't a fan of the way Monty was running his like lineups, like shuffling lineups out like you're playing hockey. He doesn't ride the hot players. He kind of like ices his own players. Having Frank Kaminsky out there for some reason, I get that we're short big players and stuff, but Ayton is young. There's no problems with his minutes. I don't think that you'd have an issue there. CP3 is the floor general. It's just
Only 3
having
fouls on Ayton.
yeah, and then not using your timeouts appropriately, like when the other team goes on runs. I mean, if you're up, like let's just say you're up 20, and then the other team cuts it down to like, I don't know, it goes on a run, 6-0 run. Call a timeout, kind
That's
of get
exactly
shit
what
together.
happened. Yeah.
You know? So I think a lot of times he just lets the game play out too much when he should call a timeout, and then he shuffles players in and out when they shouldn't go out, and then it's like the game was not put away by any means, and then he starts playing Nader, which I've never seen, and then he has Kaminsky in there that's just a walking minus, you know what I'm saying? And then it's just like all of a sudden the momentum changes, and he's like, oh shit, maybe I should get my players back in there. And then at that time, sometimes in basketball, you can't, it's like momentum swings are hard to go back and forth. So like at that time, and all of a sudden the lead goes down to what, 2 points, I think at one point. So it's like, to prevent that, ride the hot players, call the timeouts when you're supposed to, and he just doesn't do that right now, and it's frustrating. So
And it almost cost us the game. What do you think,
Yeah.
Gabe?
I'm not too upset with his rotations, to be completely honest. I mean, maybe it's just because I like everyone on the team, and I know you two hate Frank. And in the moment, I hate Frank, but there's just something about Frank Kaminsky that I can't hate, and it's that he's 7 foot. He does a good job in the paint on defense. He's not the fastest. He can't stay with guys when they do their moves, but he tries hard. He goes straight up instead of trying to foul, just like DA. And he can hit the three. And he's not scared to take the three. The thing with he reminds me of just a slightly upgraded version of Dragon Bender. And you can't
That's
tell
fair.
me you can't tell me that Kaminsky is not better than Bender, because Kaminsky's still
Ain't nobody
in the
gonna say that.
right. You know, so it's like he's not what Bender's ceiling was, but it's okay. It's like sometimes he's there for you. Bender was pretty much never there for you. And he's just another 7-footer that we can put out there. And it's like, hey, maybe he'll hit the three, but look, at least the guy's going to take the three, you know, and it's not going to look ugly. It doesn't look ugly coming off of his hand. It looks like it should go in most of the time. Dragon was scared.
you're like,
He's a third center. What do you want from the guy? You know, he's a third center who can help you.
yeah,
Damian
but
he's better than Damian Jones.
okay, but you're having him in at clutch time when you don't need to. DeAndre Ayton is how old is DA, bro? He doesn't look gassed to me, bro. The dude's shredded.
He's 22. He did play 36 minutes tonight, but you know, when you're a star and you're on the road, that's what you do,
all right,
bro.
so we're kind of just we're all in agreement that once Sticks comes back and Dario's back, Kaminsky will not scratch any playing time.
You're right.
Like,
He'll be a healthy scratch.
He couldn't even pray for playing time. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, he's gonna have the minutes that Czech Diallo had last year. That's gonna be Kaminsky.
Yo, honestly, I'd rather have Alex Len than fucking Frank Kaminsky, dude.
Alex Len learned his fucking lesson, man. He actually goes balls to the wall, whether for good or for bad. He does.
Yo, Kazar said he'd take Frank over Alex Len. Hey, Alex Len actually learned some stuff since he left the Suns. So, I mean, he's still a bum, but I don't know. He's less of a bum than Frank to me.
We got to keep this in context. We're talking about the third rotation center, probably fourth if Sticks comes in certain lineups. So As far as third centers go, I'll take Frank because he shouldn't be playing. But yes,
He's not
we've
selfish. He will pass the ball. He doesn't take dumb shots. It's not like, oh, Frank, stop chucking, Frank. It's like if it's not falling, he turns into a pass-first player. You know, he's 7 foot.
I trust Frank's shot more than Jay Crowder's right now.
So what's going on with Jay Crowder's shot, bro? I think some players just don't do well when they get a demotion. They don't take it.
He's streaky though, right? I think he's just streaky. He does other things. We didn't just pick up Jay Crowder because he's a 3-point shooter. Yeah. We picked him up because he's a dog. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like the dude he's a good defender. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I think Sticks where he fits in. If we had Dario play all of Frank's minutes and probably a couple extra of Deandre's minutes. Definitely when he comes back, he's in the 18 to 22 range of minutes. I'd like to see him get to the 26 soon. I think Sticks comes in situationally, like Abdul Nader, like oh my gosh, Langston Galloway, who didn't play tonight. I think he comes in situationally because there was no summer camp, no G League or off season. It's going to be a slow development process, but I just hope when he does go in and he does a few things, Monty doesn't yank him right away.
So, Kiz, Frank only takes dumb shots. All right, that's fair, and I get what you're saying. And you can look at his shots and say, Frank, you suck. Therefore, your shots are not good shot selections. But all I'm saying is within the rotation of the offense, the way it's like the ball is moving, he'll take it when it's available. He's not going to take it when he's doubled. He's not going to take it when a guy is closing out on him. He only takes shots that are open. And yeah, maybe they don't go in, but at least he's not taking like Kobe-style shots like, I need to get my points. He's not that type of player. Sorry. Go on, Coach.
Man, I forgot what I was even going to go on. What else should we talk about with this game?
So Crowder's steal.
Oh, yeah, Crowder. I mean, it's exactly what Salty said. We didn't get him just for his threes. He does other things. He's actually a lot better passer than I thought. Have you guys noticed that? I didn't think he was that good of a passer.
He's good.
He's kind of flashy too, and it's not stupid flash. It works.
Yeah, I like it.
Did Sticks play in the regular season like one game? I thought he played against the Mavericks.
Maybe the Kings. I don't know.
I think he scored. He does really good off the pick and roll, already better than Ayton, and I feel like he would just thrive with CP3 with his length, athleticism, his ability to roll to the basket. So I don't know. We'll see what happens because he's been off so long and he didn't, so, but I think he could help the team, but we're so deep that who knows if he'll even, get playing times.
Gabe Martinez, you hit the nail on the head here. Suns so far this season have had players that are on one night, off the other. Go back to our last podcast. That's exactly what we talked about specifically with Booker. We want to see the consistency. We want to see that. Ayton, we've been wanting to see that. That's 2 games in a row against bad teams with no Valanciunas and Christian Wood as the only center. So, I mean, he did go after Boogie, but Boogie looks atrocious. He just looks god-awful tonight. But we need to see him do it with a little bit more consistency and against some bigger players. With Jokic coming up in the next 2 games, he has good games against Jokic, right? He has good games against him. So,
bro, Cousins looks like a big dude who's trying to play a basketball game while wearing skinny jeans.
Man, that bag of bricks couldn't move,
his whole
bro.
body is just like. I mean, I feel bad for him.
He was potentially a max player a few years ago. Look at
he's washed. He's washed
completely.
He's had serious injuries, man. Achilles.
If he comes back and can do something like Dwight Howard did last year, I'll be impressed.
Can we talk about Kevin Durant real quick? I just want to say on a level that has nothing to do with Suns, Kevin Durant, I'm so glad you came back and you're the player that you are again. Like, you know how it is for people when they have that Achilles injury. Like, it's a death sentence.
Achilles, no joke.
And I love Kevin Durant just from he's never been a Sun. He has nothing to do with us. I just love the way he plays. And I was scared that when he came back, he wasn't going to be the same, that he was going to be diminished. And it just would have been bad for all of basketball if we lost Kevin Durant to injury. You know what I'm saying?
I completely agree. I'm one where when injuries come out, I hate it because I just want to see the best product out there all the time. There ain't nothing wrong with that. But KD coming back strong. I loved him in OKC. I hated everything about his decision. We're probably all on the same page when it comes to the Nets. Like, I'm not sure if I should like him or dislike them. I don't like Kyrie. I liked KD. I liked Harden at one point because of ASU. But they've got Nash, D'Antoni, and Amari on the coaching staff. It's hard for me to ever root against Nash.
Absolutely. I mean, the way Nash left and the fact that he went to the Lakers to try to glom on and get an easy ring.
That's salty.
That rubbed me the wrong way, man. And seeing him in that number 10 jersey and hanging out with Kobe. God rest Kobe's soul. I love Kobe now, but, you know, to go there – but we couldn't do anything for him. Our team was washed up. He was at the end of his road. And
we just signed Markieff Morris or just drafted him like that was our pick that he played with, right? So
yeah. Did you see what happened with the Cavs game tonight? Either of you guys?
I did. Absolutely.
Salty?
I saw that they beat them in double overtime, and they had their big three, right?
Yes. And they played very well. And, man.
They can't play defense.
Colin Sexton, man. Colin Sexton.
I didn't think Colin Sexton was going to be that good, dude.
Man, him and Darius Garland. They're calling. You know what they're calling them? Sexton and Garland. They're calling him Sexland.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm all on Sexland in Cleveland, man.
Oh man, I mean, good for Cleveland.
I could give a fuck about Cleveland, dude.
Pull up this last comment by Timothy. We got to talk about this. This is an interesting comment in an interesting way. No, not that. The comment.
I got you. Which one? From
Timothy? The last one from Timothy. What do you think about Book playing the Klay Thompson style in offense? He's turnover prone when he tries to do point Book. I'm going to let that one digest for a second. Salty, what do you think?
Nope.
Why?
His game is not about that. I mean, his turnovers have been off of passes and shit, dude. And he's not really playing. He's not playing point Book. CP3's in there and shit. It's just he's making bad decisions. His game is based off of like penetration. Because like when he first started in the league, he was more of like a 3-point shooter. He'd be okay with threes. He's more of a mid-range game, you know, drive it in now. Like he's like create his own shot. That would never work, dude. He would never do that.
You mean being more like Klay as opposed to point Book and what he's doing now?
Yeah, he's not Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson does not have the dribbles like Devin Booker, you know what I'm saying? Clay's more like stationary-ish.
I would like Devin Booker to pick up some Klay Thompson-esque stuff. I mean, he can he can score 40 points and dribble the ball 4 times.
Yeah, but Klay Thompson's way better shooter from 3
than
Booker. So.
And why can't Booker get to be that consistent? Is there any reason he can't?
I mean, he didn't have a problem with turnovers before this year, I mean, it's a new team, new player, you know. So
all of his threes are generally off the dribble. I mean, how many times does Devin Booker get a wide open shot in a game? It's like once every 3 or 4 games.
It feels like when he does, he misses, unless it's deep. If it's like 5 feet behind the 3-point line, like maybe he'll hit those. But for some reason, when he gets that open shot and no one's on him, it's almost like it's too quiet and he doesn't expect that, and it throws his rhythm off.
Yeah. And Gabe Martinez, the last comment. Is it me or does anyone else feel like if Mikal was to ever develop a consistent jump shot, he could be the best player on this team with the biggest impact? I think about 4 or 5 podcasts ago, we said this, like, if he did that, he could score 25 points a game and be like his defense.
All-star.
So monster.
You don't think he's already consistent? Because I think his jumper's already consistent.
No, I
we're
mean,
talking about 15 points to 25 points. That's a damn good player, a fringe third level NBA, fringe all defensive to superstar. That's a way different level.
he still has times where he'll go, his hitch comes back and stuff. So we're talking about consistent, like putting up 20 plus a game every game, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly. I mean,
that would be like Kawhi levels.
That's KD with the defensive ability of Kawhi right there. With his long arms, that is KD with being able to guard like Kawhi. And I have been thinking this, and I have not wanted to say that in a long time because I don't want to jinx it, but he could be KD with locking it up like Kawhi can. That's what it would be.
I mean, he's one of the untouchables, in my opinion, on the team.
100
core players.
Cam Johnson, I got to throw him in there too with the same thing. I think Cam Johnson is 1 year behind in the development that Mikal Bridges. I think next year we'll be talking about Cam the way we're talking about Mikal this year. Like, holy shit, look at this guy.
I thought that today too. Like next year he could be the most improved. This year it's probably Mikal, and the next year why can't it be Cam Johnson?
I know.
Yeah, Cam's like developing other parts of his game too. Like when he first got into the league, he was straight like spot up shooter, and then towards the end of last year, starting to drive it more. He dunked on that one guy. I remember that highlight poster jam he had. And then because when he came out of college, people were just, man, this is the best shooter out of college, but they didn't really talk about his other stuff. Like they didn't say he had athleticism. They didn't say he had, anything else. It was just more of like, oh, you're like, oh, this guy's just going to be 3-point specialist. It's like, nah, he has other aspects to his game,
So let me ask you a question as I'm sitting here watching these highlights, and you consider the fact that it's Steve Nash, and who's his assistant coach, fellas?
Mike, Dan, and Tony. He's got 3 of them.
No defense. That's what I already told you that. They don't play defense.
Favorite coach of all time, Mike D'Antoni. Little known fact: Salty has a tattoo on his left ass cheek of D'Antoni smoking a cigar. It's crazy. It's true. It's true. But what I want to say is, do you guys think that it's possible or likely that Nash and D'Antoni have basically decided, look, we've got 3 of the most special players ever brought onto Earth. Let's just do our old 7 seconds or less. Let's just do our old Euro offense where we don't care about defense and we just go out there and outscore everything.
100%.
I guarantee you they never work on defense on that coaching staff, dude.
No.
Just look at the defender. Look at James Harden is one of the worst defenders in the league, dude. Like he couldn't play defense if he fucking wanted to, dude. But he doesn't want to. Like these guys are all iso ball, no defense.
They're passing to each other, bro. They're passing to each other.
They're passing to each other now. They're passing to each other now because it's a new thing. Everybody's eyes are on them. Now, if they start losing games like they did tonight against Cleveland, they're going to, trust me, like
that joyride's over.
It's just, they're going to start bumping heads. And when things get a little bit, I'm telling you, these guys are not going to, they won't make the finals. I'll just tell you that.
We said that in the beginning after the very first game when they steamrolled. I forget who they played in the first game, but it was like the Celtics or the Sixers or something. First game of the season, they came out and won by like 35, and we all said this. And then look what happened. Now they don't even have development players or role players or anybody on their bench.
Their depth is garbage. They don't play defense. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. They're old.
That's 3 superstars, bro. And I'm talking
super
superstars. Like, that's, man. I'm not interested in the Nets. I'm not happy for the Nets. I'm not happy for Steve Nash.
Honestly, they're in the East Coast, so I could give a fuck less if they make the championship or not, dude. Like, we're in the West. We need to focus on the West. If they get to the championship, that's cool.
So let's look ahead to that.
Don't really care.
Let's say Deandre Ayton, this is the new norm for DA. It truly is Deandre Ayton season, okay? And he's playing like that for the rest of the season. Everyone starts pulling it together, starts getting their shit together. They start gelling more. They start becoming more like the Bubble Suns. And we're in the finals. We're the Raptors. And the first time that we get there, we got to go up against Harden, Durant, and Irving.
Just back the truck up, dude. How about we focus on winning 2 games in a row? How about that?
Let's beat the Nuggets on Friday.
Let's try to not be
don't take me
bullshit.
Out of context. Don't take me out of context. I'm saying
Gabe's doing mushrooms over here with his his fucking dreams in the sky after one fucking win against the
I'm not
Rockets.
saying that's what's going to happen. I'm saying this is the best team we've been. Can you imagine if we had? How would you feel having to go up against that team?
Let me bring you back down to earth because I'm good at that. Okay, so how many losses did we just have, and what teams did we lose to? I don't need to bring them out, but we lost to the Pistons, right? We lost to the Wizards,
and it's the beginning of the regular season.
The Grizzlies. So I want to tell you that was not too long ago, and we win one simple game against the Rockets that were missing one of their best players.
The best.
Let's just take it down a notch, dude.
You're taking me out of context, good sir.
You put yourself in that context.
You put yourself in that context. You're like, the NBA Finals, and it's just like, come on, dude.
I'm saying go out on a limb with me here, all right? Walk out on this path with me where we.
Yeah, I'm not going out on that limb with you.
You got to put Kazar's coming up.
We haven't made the playoffs in fucking 10 years, so let's do that first.
Bro, I'm just saying hypothetically, what if?
Hypothetically, I could go outside and win the fucking lottery, dude.
So you're saying you don't think there's any chance the Suns make it to the finals this year?
They could, but they need to do things first, like win 5 games in a row or 10 games in a row. Then they need to make the playoffs, and then they need to win a series. There's so much stuff ahead, dude. Like you gotta you gotta walk before you run. You're trying to run a fucking marathon before you learn how to walk.
Bro, I'm a Suns fan. I don't know how to take winning. This has never happened to me before, okay? I've never had a team this high in power rankings.
One game at a time.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen, fellas. I'm saying let's say we woke up one day and what? The Suns are in the final? How terrible would it be to have to go up against KD, Harden, and Kyrie Irving? Y'all wouldn't be scared of that? Y'all wouldn't be.
Man, if we made it to the finals and we made it through the Clippers and the Lakers and whoever else we have to play, no, I'm not worried
That's
about
what I'm
that
asking.
at that point.
Would you be scared of that?
They just lost to the Cavs, bro.
They're gonna pull it together. They're gonna be different teams. We still think we're gonna hit our mark in the last 15 games, just like most teams are going to. I bet you they're gonna make some sort of veteran minimum move to try to get some other pieces going their way, or get at least one more spot on the bench. And if we had to play them, I think Deandre Ayton could easily go off against DeAndre Jordan because he's not what he used to. You put Jay Crowder in the starting lineup, and all of a sudden you got Crowder and Mikal Bridges to try to do something with Harden and Durant. Try to scheme up something for Kyrie, and they ain't going to play the whole time. We know that. And then all of a sudden our bench goes in against them. I would say, in theory, I like our odds, but the shot's got to be falling because any one of those dudes can go off for 50. And Booker has the 70-point game, and how many 50-point games? He doesn't have anywhere near the scoring capacity that those three stars have yet.
What they're proving me tonight, what they're proving to me tonight is that not only can either of them go off for 50 at some point, these dudes can all go off for 35 together the same night, and one of them's going to have a triple-double. It's just like that.
I like Kazar's comment, dude. He wants the name of your dealer because you're so high.
Listen, you know all right. On the DL, I was thinking about thinking about eating some mushrooms tonight, but it comes with a little bit of nausea. So it's just, I didn't want to be nauseous on the podcast. But bro,
He's like throwing up during our podcast.
you're a little bit queasy, but I'm telling you, I'm straight. I'm in my right mind. I'm just saying we look good tonight. And if Deandre Ayton is that Deandre Ayton, he's done it for 2 games in a row. I've given this man an A+.
Have him do it for fucking 2 weeks in a row or a month.
I agree.
Dude, I can't tolerate this anymore. I think can we mute him?
Yeah.
Look, there was still a lot of things tonight that we got to clean up. Devin Booker and his turnover issues, a weird ass lineup. Monty's still figuring the team out. Playing Abdul Nader was a clear sign that he's still trying to figure out who his team is. There's still a lot they need to do. We were up by 20 and we let them back into 5. Then we got it up to 14 or 15 or 16 again, and it got down to like 4 or something. So there was 2 times we could have really put them away and had it been over. And so there's still a lot of issues that this team has that we have to clean up. And we've got 2 big tests coming up, and all that matters is getting that W. Because if you get that W all of a sudden and we blow them out or whatever on Friday, that makes the next contest so much harder because it's hard to beat teams on a back-to-back, especially playing in the same arena twice. You're not going to have the advantage the second time around, especially with no fans. They're going to be pissed. They're going to want to come out, and Jamal Murray is always Michael damn Jordan when he plays against the Suns. So who knows what's going to happen going down the road. We got so many things going on. If we even play with COVID protocols, if we don't play for another 2 weeks, we're having a different conversation too. Now, nobody can hear you. Thank you.
I muted myself for you.
The gods answered us.
If you're gonna call me a god, go ahead. But it was me. All right.
Presser of buttons.
Listen, I think we'll be fine.
Kids, we're not playing in Denver. We're playing at home for 2 games. We got them both at home,
which is nice because obviously
that never happens.
No. But I think it's COVID stuff. They're just like, look, if we're going to do a home and home, let's just do it. Yeah. But no, here, one thing I wanted to say about the team tonight. I don't care that the Rockets were shorthanded. It doesn't.
It's a road win.
It doesn't take away anything from this win tonight because we've been at our worst against teams that are shorthanded. Those are the teams that are beating us and putting 5 ugly blemish losses on our record. It's not the Nuggets of the world. It's not the Jazz. It's barely the Clippers after they're up by 30 on us. The Kings got a lot. I don't care that we were going up against a short team. Who did they not have? John Wall. I don't care. Teams like this have been beating us all season, and they're the only teams that have been beating us. So I feel very good about this win. I don't care that Deandre Ayton had a monster game against Christian Wood, and that's not good enough. I don't care. He doesn't do this ever against anyone. What's up?
Check the tape. I called the blowout win. You can go check our last podcast. You guys are asking for predictions.
I think I said
called
7. Didn't I say like 7 to 9?
I said blowout, but yeah.
It wasn't a blowout. We won by 6.
I said close win. I think it was like 7, 8, 9. I think you and me were in that one.
Mm-hmm. So what do we say about the next 2 games then?
I think a dub and then an L back to back.
Split. I think a split. I mean, if they come away with 2 wins, man, that'd be crazy. But I'd be okay with the split. But 0-2 would just be fucked.
You can't come out 0-2. I think 2 wins and then overall 3 in a row, that would put Suns Twitter in an absolute freaking frenzy. I don't know if we can handle that kind of success this early, but it's what we said in the beginning, game by game, one at a time. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. We got too low because they just weren't putting forth the effort. And I think that changed tonight. And I think we can all agree the overall effort and the hustle and heart that they played with tonight was a strictly contradicting their whole style the last 2 games, especially against the Wizards.
Just looking at the schedule, I totally agree with you, man. Like, it's going to be tough to win these 2 games in a row, and I don't know how
back to back, and then we have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off, and we don't come back until Wednesday, so they can go balls to the wall for 2 games if they want.
I would say check the standings real quick, and then there's some scores to go over. Dallas beat the Pacers, beat the hell out of them tonight. Warriors are going on one hell of a run, man. You remember we were talking shit about them, and now they're playing pretty good.
They're a half game behind us now, man.
They're scary to me because they smacked the Spurs tonight, I believe.
And Spurs just got a good dub the other night when we had Gary on.
Yeah. Warriors are led by one of the best players of all time, man. And they got that young kid, Wiseman. And he plays the way Deandre Ayton is playing now.
He's nasty.
And shit. I mean, if they had Klay Thompson, they would be right up in here.
Clippers beat the Kings 115-96. Kawhi had 32, so there's another dub over the Kings for the Clippers, and the Kings continue to fade away.
The Kings just always will suck, dude, apparently.
You already called out the Mavs win. Porzingis had 27 and 13 in that. Celtics lost to the Sixers. Celtics seem to be going on a little bit of a slide right now. Hawks beat the Pistons. Everybody beats them except us. And Jeremy Grant had another 32 points. Get this stat line, you guys. Clint Capella, 27 points and 26 boards. That's not a slouch stat line for a Wednesday evening.
We probably have the best wins and the worst losses in the NBA, dude.
Oh, it's so frustrating, man. It makes it so that you can't enjoy it at all.
Because, like, we came out the gate and slapped good teams. The Jazz are doing really good. We beat them. We beat the Nuggets back.
The Jazz.
Yeah, and then it's just like we beat good teams, and then we lost to shit teams, bro. Like, what?
And that's the consistency. I think that's been our overall theme is consistency when it comes to either defense, playing, rotations. Any type of rhythm. I think consistency has been our theme throughout the year.
Even, who was it, Gabe, that said we lost 4 out of 5 to sub 500 teams? Even if we win 2 of those 4 games, what's our record right now?
10 and 3. 10 and 3, bro.
That's crazy, dude. Crazy.
So
we'll get over it, though.
A couple more scores. Heat are going on a mini run. They've won a couple in a row. They played the Raptors tonight. They beat them 111-102. Raptors continue to slide on down. The Magic finally got a W after I don't know how many games they lost, and Vucevic went off for 28-8 over the T-Wolves, 97-96. T-Wolves 3 wins. I saw a funny tweet tonight at Thrilla Chase, one of my favorite followers and a guy that I follow on Twitter, hilarious. He said every loss by the Timberwolves means it's another day closer to Cat getting traded to the Suns for DA.
Oh, but do you want that now?
No, he meant it very tongue in cheek, and I thought that was a funny comment of the night for me.
Bro, what if we could somehow get Cat and DA and Booker?
Let's just not even go there right now, dude.
Man. So me and Salty are going to do the podcast next time. We're going to mute this dude and make
this guy's at the pie.
You're killing me.
The pie in the sky, dude.
These guys will not let me live in a world where the Suns are goats. They just won't do it. They want to drag us all down to live in the salt mines.
We are the battered sports fans of Arizona, me and Salty, let me tell you.
It's true. It's true. I mean,
hey, I appreciate your optimism because me and Salty ain't going to show it, man. Not after all these years. If we go up by 20, I think we're going to lose. So we need you. We need you.
It's like, why would we? I just don't think Cat is better than DA when DA's playing like this.
But when Cat's playing like that, he's a 30-20.
Cat is more consistent. He's an all-star. DA is younger and he's cheaper, so.
Yeah. Final thoughts of the night. Gabe, let's start with you.
Man, we needed that win. And
big time.
That one really means a lot for us. So just glad we got it. I'm so proud of DA. 2 games in a row. I'm giving this man an A+. I assume both of you would give him an A+ tonight.
Yep.
A+. So 2 games in a row. Unbelievable. And I truly believe that if Deandre Ayton plays like that 75% of the games, We can beat anyone, any night, and I think we could beat anyone in a 7-game series.
Absolutely. I want consistency. I want to see it the next game. I think the next game is going to be very telling. Let's see what the energy is in the first quarter, how they come out, how the ball's moving. Is Deandre Ayton attacking? Is Booger turning it over? That kind of thing. Let's look at those little things in the first quarter, and I think that's going to be big. Let's get to these comments real quick before we get to Salty.
Go ahead and tell Gabe Martinez that you want Vucevic.
Oh man, when Deandre was Ayton trading like playing like trash, I wanted Vucevic all day long. I thought he was going to be available, or Julius Randle, but we ain't going there.
He's on Shaqtin with that take now, dude.
He's playing the way we want and what we thought, and if he wasn't doing this, I would still be saying that. And I think you guys, if he did another 13 and 11 and 8,
I'm not making fun of you. I'm not making fun of you for saying
go check the tapes. I was bringing these dudes back down to fucking earth, dude. I was bringing them down. Go check the tapes. They're like, trade DA now.
Listen to Deandre season 2 over here. Quit acting like you ever had
all of a sudden.
I've been a DA stan. I've been a DA stan.
Oh,
so
I was gonna say,
a few comments. Go ahead, Salty. Finish.
My background on Twitter. Who's on that? Gabe.
I don't know.
For the Valley podcast. Who's that? Whose jersey is that?
If it's Deandre, then it's just out of.
It's a joke now. Is it a Luka?
Sarcasm.
No, it's fucking Deandre, dude.
That or you just switched it right now. No, I do like that Valley podcast logo you made for that. I need to get that. I need to get a copy of that with his jersey.
Gabe Martinez. First, hey, shout out to Gabe, Kazar, and Timothy being on here chatting with us.
Dude.
Shout out to y'all,
everybody.
Make it a lot of fun. We appreciate that.
We're a new podcast. We appreciate everybody. We try to the interactivity is key with these kind of things. So thank you again.
Gabe Martinez, I think we got low because of the level of competition we were beating versus the level of competition we were losing to, like 100%. That's so frustrating. Kids, yeah, we could definitely be the first seed right now. Going back to Gabe, who would you like the Suns acquired by the trade deadline? It's too early right now, also because we don't know what's going to be going on with COVID and how things are going to be wrapping up through the season, honestly. We don't know if we're going to be playing the next 2 freaking weeks, regardless of what our roster is. So that part's tough. As of right this second, I mean, we want to stand pat. I love everybody that we have on the team. But if they come out and they start doing the same thing over and over, then we have to talk. Cat can't stay healthy. No, that's a big thing on him. We'll need a 6-man that we can create for himself. I really feel like with our style of play, we don't specifically need that. But if that is anybody, it's more Campaign on the bench, in my opinion.
Agreed.
You guys think so? Yeah.
Agreed.
He's more of he can be like a Leandro Barbosa kind of spark.
Good call, bro.
More efficient, better passer, better point guard overall. Not really an off guard.
Very fast, very shifty.
Dude with the crown of Ayton's world in disguise. We ain't gonna get into Ayton's world and those 18-year-olds. So those are my thoughts. Let's see what goes on. But we got to finally leave it off, and we're going to close with the man, the myth, the legend himself. Salty, first, where can we find you?
Find me on Twitter, Saltiest AZ fan. Post a lot during the games. Connoisseur of meme culture, all that shit. That's about it, man.
Hey, by the way, you gave me earlier, you said hating on Ayton, and I think that would be a good either handle or that would be a good
troll
segment for us to do during the show. Hating on Ayton. And then sorry, go ahead.
I love it, man. That's it. What we haven't talked about the weekend schedule. Are you guys going to be on Friday and Saturday? I can probably only do one night. I think Friday night I'm good to go. I'm not sure about Saturday. What's your guys' schedule?
Yeah, I should be able to go both nights.
I should be able to do them.
Hopefully, at least Salty, if you can only do one, hopefully you can take over for Coach the time that he misses.
I'll hit you guys up, but Friday's probably not a big deal. We got a later time, 8 o'clock Arizona
talking both
time.
Nuggets games, right?
Both Nuggets games, Friday, 8 o'clock, and then Saturday, 7 o'clock. If it's a later one Saturday, I can probably do it, and I'll have to watch the game on a little bit of delay, but then we got a break, fellas. 2 games. Let's go get that dub first time, all right?
Good seeing everybody. 8-5.